Hello everyone, I'm Catherine Lewis and I'm Operations Manager at Alström Syndrome UK, and I'm joined today for this community podcast by Sophie, who's our lived experience coordinator, and also we are very pleased to welcome Aniba, who is here to tell us all about her lived experience and journey with the genetic condition Bardet-Biedl syndrome. But before we get into the podcast, I would love to tell you all a little bit about Breaking Down Barriers and the network, in case you haven't heard of us before. So Breaking Down Barriers is a network all about collaboration and learning from each other. And we're all about championing equity, diversity, and inclusion. And what does that actually mean in practice? Well, for us, it means about learning from each other and collaborating in the best way possible so that we can really share good examples of ways that we can support our communities and ensure we're as inclusive and diverse and equitable as possible, so that communities who are often underserved and marginalised can feel safe and secure enough to be able to come to our services when they need support. So we're really a network to help organisations develop their support services and their services to ensure they're as equitable as possible and inclusive as possible. And we also have an experts by experience advisory group, and they're a fantastic group from diverse communities, a range of backgrounds and lived experience, and a variety of different conditions as well that they're living with day to day. And they bring a wealth of experience and knowledge about a range of experiences, which is fantastic when we're helping organisations develop services and support, and when we're thinking around research and clinical trials and development across the board, really across the health sector and research sector. So we work with many organisations across the sector to really look at ways that we can help everybody develop many ways of ensuring that we're equitable, accessible and inclusive for our diverse communities that we serve. And it's so important that people who are using our services have the biggest voice, they have their voice heard, so that we can ensure that the services we're providing are the services that they want, are the services that they need, So it's really important to ensure that people with lived experiences have a voice within your service, within every service and support that you provide. So we're hoping these podcasts are going to be a little glimpse into some of that lived experience world, and really helping us understand some of the experiences behind the headlines, behind the data, behind the statistics, and really listening to the people behind the conditions, so that hopefully we can support them to the best of our ability. So welcome to Aniba and Sophie, who's going to be leading on this podcast. And if you want to know a little bit more about Bardet-Biedl syndrome, they do have a website, which is www.bbsuk.org.uk. And also Breaking Down Barriers have a fantastic website with lots of resources, which is www.breaking-down-barriers.org.uk. So I hope you all enjoy listening to the podcast. Bye for now.
The conversation ideally is led by you and what you want to share. It's your lived experience. So, but why don't we just start with talking about Bardet-Biedl syndrome and how it affects you personally in your everyday life?
Okay, for anybody who would like to know about BBS, BBS affects every part of the body. So in my personal experience with BBS, it affects my sight, my hearing, my speech. Weight is controlled as I'm got high blood pressure, I have got my learning difficulties, and I have got spondylosis as well.
Yeah, so like affects the whole system really, and I assume that means, are you under different medical departments then? Is that right, or is it all under one that looks at the whole of you?
Correct. Good question. So when I was a little, I used to have different appointments at Good Hope Hospital, and one appointment was at the Children's Hospital. Since now, as I am an adult, all of the appointment is a one-stop clinic appointment, which I get to see a lot of specialists on a one-day clinic instead of going to different appointments.
That's really interesting. So in comparing the children's services to the adult services, it sounds like the adult services is more integrated. Have I understood that right?
Correct. Because when I was little, and because I used to go to Good Hope and hearing was done at children, it was a long appointment, and Dad was taking a lot of time off work, and I was taking a lot of time off school. Because I am now an adult, the appointment is just a one-stop clinic. I get to see everybody at that clinic, and it doesn't take pressure off Dad for him to take time off work, and it doesn't take pressure off me if I have to plan something with friends.
Yeah, that makes sense. So on that note, can we talk a little bit about your journey to getting diagnosed? I know you mentioned you were diagnosed as a young child. Could you just talk us through how long that took, what the challenges were, and the impact on your family?
Yep, so as you may or may not know, BBS doesn't affect my dad's side of the family or my sister's. It does affect my mother's side of the family, as one of my uncles in Pakistan has BBS. When mum and dad were having me, I did have BBS, but we wasn't sure what gene I had. I am very fortunate that I met Kelly Lisa Beavers at a young age, and since when I was 13, all the tests came up positive, and it was BBS all the way as well.
Thanks for sharing that. And just we were talking previously about sort of the difference between children's and adult services. How was the transition from the children's services to the adult services for you and your family, the actual transition period?
It was very easily because I had support from Good Hope and also support from another clinic with a young clinic services, and then luckily it didn't take that long to go to the adult services on the QE.
That's really good to hear. Um, and what's your general experience with healthcare providers been? I think one of the many challenges of living with a rare condition is that often the healthcare providers that we're going to, even the specialists themselves, are still very much learning about the condition, and that's sort of further complicated if we're seeing different departments, for instance. Have you felt like you've had to educate your doctors, because of course you've got the lived experience, so even specialists who know about the latest research haven't got your lived experience? Have you felt that you've had to educate your doctors, and have you felt that they've been receptive to that and you felt heard and understood when you've shared your lived experience?
Good question. I would say yes, all my doctors are very supportive because after the BBS clinic appointment that I had, all the reports go to the GP, but I also do check in with the BBS team if I had any questions, if I don't understand the letter or the appointment, And also, if there's any questions that I have before going to the appointment as well.
That's really positive. What would you say what support has been most helpful for you? I know that's $1 million question. And what would you like to see more of in your care?
Good question. So I would say the support from BBS has been fantastic because I know I can check in with anybody. But also, I'm very lucky because not a part of BBS UK is volunteering, but also with the Breaking Down Barriers project, I get to see other patients from an Asian community to let them know they are not alone with having BBS.
Yeah, that's a really good point, is that feeling that kind of connectedness and solidarity with other people with rare conditions. And that's really great to know that breaking down barriers has been so helpful for you. And you also mentioned BBS UK, which is the charity supporting people with BBS. And I understand that the annual conference is coming up at the end of this month. Can you just tell us a little bit about what happens at the BBS conference, and also how BBS UK, the charity, have personally supported you, and how that's linked to your healthcare?
Very good questions. So at the conference, we get to see speakers. We also see other families that have BBS to see and talk about our experience of having BBS. I also get a chance to also socialise, and I also get a chance to do my fundraising, which I make bracelets with February and get the name of the teddy as well.
Fantastic. So you actually make bracelets and sell those and raise money for the charity?
Yeah, and the teddy as well.
That sounds a really lovely thing to do, and lovely for people to have something that they can take home to remind them of the conference as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So I think my final question is another $1 million question. What is the one thing that you wish people understood about living with a rare condition?
The only thing that I would love to see in the future is that I hope there is other rare disease centres in other countries, especially in Pakistan, because I don't want anybody to go through what my family went through or how me going through with BBS.
Yeah, that makes sense. And what sort of things would need to be in place to ensure that that could happen, do you think?
Finding the right support and also seeing people who have got the condition as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So connecting people. And Eva, that's been really helpful. Thank you so much for
You're
sharing your
welcome.
experience. Everybody's experience is unique, and it's, as you said, when we all share that and we create a platform for people to share their experience, it's really helpful, and that's how we can make change possible.
Thank you, Aniba, for sharing your personal story with us. It really is appreciated. And those insights really do make a difference in helping shape services and really help organisations see the people behind, the information that we give. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. That was absolutely fantastic. Thank you. And it really does show the personalised service and support really does make a difference. So thank you. Now, if you'd like to take part in one of our podcasts, please do get in touch. My email address is catherine.lewis@alstrom.org.uk. All the contact information is on our website, www.breaking-down-barriers.org.uk. You can also find out a bit more about the syndrome that we were discussing, which is Bardet-Biedl syndrome, on their website, which is www.bdsyndrome.org.uk. bbsuk.org.uk. You can also find out on the Breaking Down Barriers website more information about the network. If you'd like to join, please get in touch. It's free, membership is free to join, so do please get in touch if you'd like to know more. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye for now.